Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Let's see the clicker. Everything's working. Great. So good morning / afternoon, everyone. I know I have the toughest job of the day, keeping everybody engaged after a coffee break. So bear with me for 20 minutes. Don't check your Slack. Don't check your email. And I hope to make it worth it. So why are we here? Let's click. So, it's a privilege to stand here today speaking about an issue that became increasingly urgent, something that is shaping the way organizations work, revenue operation. Not just a function, it's not just a department, it's a philosophy. It's a strategy that aligns team, processes, and technology to create a working engine, a revenue engine. But how do we scale a revenue operation team into a powerhouse? So in today's session, we're not just going to discuss about hiring. I'm not an HR. But we're going to discuss how to create a revenue engine, a team that drives an impact. So we'll speak about how to scale and build a revenue operation function team, how and when to get the right decision at the right time, and hopefully we'll finish, if the time is okay, with RevOps Singularity, the ultimate goal of alignment. Okay, so before we jump into business, I want to tell you a bit about who am I and why am I here speaking about the revenue operation. You mentioned, I'm the Director of Revenue at Linksight, and in the past 9 years I've been working, Jenny was right, I have it also here. And in the past 9 years I was working in revenue operation. At Powtoon, I scaled the revenue operation by aligning marketing and sales team. At Gigaspaces, I was more focused on pipeline efficiency and team workflows. And today at Linksight, hopefully, I'm trying to get more data-driven insight and build revenue system at scale. And besides my work, I'm a true believer in talent. I believe that when you invest in talent, when you create a culture of alignment and growth, you don't just grow your company, you create a revenue engine. And besides work, you'll find me, unfortunately, a lot of the time disappointed at some offer, and watching good anima, because even in revenue operation, you still need data storytelling and strategy. So, why are we here? Why RevOps is suddenly at the center of business strategy? Because the world has changed. It used to be very simple. I lead saw an ad, talk to sales, done, there's a deal. But not anymore. In today's world, a prospect might engage with 10 different touch points before even making a decision. Sales, marketing, customer success, it's a complex multi-journey channel. And if your team is not aligned, you're stuck, you're losing revenue. So, in order to really understand revenue operation, we need to understand the history of revenue operation. So, at first, it was siloed. Sales and marketing, every department worked in a silo. Marketing focused on leads. Sales focused on closing the deals. The disconnect, it created frictions, inefficiencies, loss of revenue. Then came the first solution, technology. Automation tools, CRM system, those tools really helped, but at the end they weren't enough. They simply wasn't enough. Something was still missing. And that missing piece, as you can guess, revenue operation. The understanding that alignment is not just technology or systems or CRM, but tying your technology, your processes, and people all in the same page. All of them on the same page. So having all of this in one single roof, upscaled organization from just being maybe efficient to drivers of revenue. So if revenue operation is the strategy, then talent is the driver behind the scene. So, I thought it would be more of a wow effect, so the clicks didn't work. So talent doesn't mean nothing Sorry, talent means a lot. So strategy and processes mean nothing without the right person. The right person, the right talent, is the single source that really connects everything. And if you hire the wrong person, you're stuck. You're stuck not only because you'll be bound to average, but you're stuck because that function really connects everything together. And if your talent isn't empowered, if your team is not aligned, then that's it. But if you have the right people making the right decisions at the right time, then it's working. Then you can really start dealing with the right things and not just messing around with all the mundane things. So the question asked is, how do you get the right talent hiring according to your stage? So let's break it down. We know that not all revenue operation teams are the same, just like as not all companies are the same. And what works for a startup doesn't necessarily mean to work for an enterprise. And hiring the wrong person might slow you down, and even worse, can derail your momentum. So let's break it down by the stages that you're in. At early stage, you need flexibility. You need to hire a generalist, a kolboinik, you would say in Hebrew. Someone that knows his things, he knows automation, he knows how to create platforms. He will set out those foundational systems, those initial processes just to get you started. At this moment, it would be a good thing to hire a consultant. Someone with high experience and a lot of expertise, but with not a lot of commitment. That person, I have this guy sitting here today, my guy, will help you align and make this process and technologies a bit better. It will help you implement the HubSpot, the Salesforce, but in a way that you can grow. So then, after you went out from the early stage, now it's time to be just a bit better. You're now in the growth stage. So the stakes are higher. This is your signal to bring in your first senior, your leader. You remember the foundational platforms and systems that we did on the early stage? Now in the growth stage, it's time to scale them, to make them more efficient, make them something they can be relied on. After that leader set up the foundational systems and created the framework for how your revenue operation will work, this is the right time to bring in junior hires to scale systems and to tailor them for your specific needs of your company and your company stage. Those people will, at the end, as we'll see in a second, can be a great asset when you grow up. So after we go up, we went from growth stage to mature stage. Now specialization is the key. You need to double down on professionals. You need that every pillar, every touch point or major pillar within revenue operation will have an owner. You need an owner that is special in data analytics. You need someone that understands processes. And remember that those juniors that we just brought a few years ago, this is the time to promote them internally, because their unique, tailored experience will help your company grow. Because at the end, they're your asset. They're the link side revenue operations specialist. Sorry. So, to one-liner it, early stage, bring in a consultant to help you, get you started. Growth stage, bring in your first hire, bring in your first leader for the role, and also grab on some juniors to carry along the way. Mature stage, double down on professional and promote internally. Now that we know talent is great and we know to pay attention to the early growth and mature stage, the questions asked is, okay, who will be this first hire? So your first revenue operation hire is one of the most critical decisions you will ever make. Hiring the wrong person, you're stuck. Hire the right person and you lay down the foundation for scalable success. A mistake I see too often is hiring too specialized, too soon. A friend of mine, CRO, once told me, Evie, I brought in my first hire. He was a CRM expert. He knew his HubSpot. He knew the workflow. He created tons of custom variables, but he didn't have experience aligning revenue-associated teams. He didn't have the experience of touch pointing with sales, with marketing, with customer success. So when you first hire, think of that in mind. Think of that person as the glue, as the bridge between strategy and execution. So it's great that he will be a tech savvy, he will know the platform. But if he doesn't have those cross-functional collaboration with your main departments, it's not good enough. It won't work. So before you make this first hire, ask yourself, do this person have the ability to think long-term while still executing today? If the answer is yes, you found your person. Great. Now, we got the team, we got the talent, we got the first hire. So if the first hire is basically laying the foundations, so the person behind scene drafting the blueprint is the manager. So let's take a quick look at how the manager in the RevOps position really impacts the entire team. Okay, so a good leader doesn't just mean micromanage everything. It's mean that you're creating a culture of collaboration. You empower people. You invest in your talent. There are 4 main traits that every manager must have, especially in revenue operation, but in general. You're a visionary. You don't just say, do this because I said so. You explain. You explain to your team, to your teammates, to your peers, why their job matters, why this task impacts the entire organization, impact the business goals. You empower, you encourage your team to do more hands-on. You give them more responsibilities. Make people accountable, give them ownership, and you'll see how they'll rise to the challenge. Collaborative. As we said, one of the most important traits, if not the number 1 trait for a manager, is being a collaborative. Understanding that it's not just about you. It's not just about your specific department. It's understanding and surfacing problems outside of your department. Understanding all the touch points in the pipeline and making sure they're all transferred there. Growth-oriented. If you're not investing and empowering in your talent, you will always lose. If you don't give people the chance to be mentored, to develop, you're losing. At Powtoon, when we hired the first RevOps lead, first operation lead, in our mind, we wanted to bring someone that's adaptable and problem-solving, more than just a deep technical understanding kind of person. So the result, after we got that specific person, it was a she. In a few months, all workflows worked better, and the streamlining of everything worked like a charm. And the most important thing, we had a great foundational operational team that can easily bring and onboard new people. Because instead of that being a hassle, onboarding that person, it was just there. The workflows was there, everything was there. So after we got this manager, let's see how we evolved this team. So a team of 1 set of mind won't be surprising to you. Often the RevOps starts as a 1 person, and if that's you, congratulations. You're not just the RevOps department, you're also data architect, part-time therapist for sales and marketing, system admin, and sometimes all in the same day. So this role really requires adaptability and problem solving, and the ability to juggle competing priorities across multiple departments. Because at the end of the day, the manager can really define the way that this team will shape. And not just define it, he's the person that will make this team grow and become better. So, after we got that person and we hired our first professional, how do we keep them with us? Sorry, there was a bit of a mixed up in the presentation. So after you got this manager, how do you build your team to scale? So let me tell you a secret. Being a RevOps leader and the first hire, it's a really lonely position. And if you don't plan ahead, if you don't document, and if you don't foresee the future, you will never get out of it. One of the traits that you need to understand is that hiring people isn't just about filling roles. It's been accounting the main 4 pillars of building a RevOps team. Again, it's here. So the first thing, data analytics, the heart of everything. Once the team grows, you need a dedicated person that owns the numbers, that really understand how those reporting, where they sit, and make sure that everybody works on the same valid data. Second, operation, the engine. Those are the systems, the technologies that you bring in that's supposed to serve you and your team to reaching the business goal. Process optimization. In here, you take inefficiencies and turn them into opportunities. Here you take those workflows, those foundational processes, and you make them seamless, and you make them more efficient. So the entire company will benefit from having consistency and clarity. And the most important thing, normally would be you, the manager, strategy. That's the glue that holds everything together. Think of that as the bridge between departments, the bridge, again, between department strategy and everything. High-level planning and alignment are not just luxuries in revenue operation. They're non-negotiables. And once this pillar done right, it can transform a team from a proactive team to a true engine of revenue, for something that can foresee things and accommodate them even before they start. So, after we build and we scale the team, how, at the end, we will keep them here? So, there are 3 options and 3 main pillars to making sure you foster your career of your team and also for yourself, especially in revenue operation, but I believe this applies to a lot of departments. First thing, upscaling opportunities. Give your people a chance to learn more. Send them to learn things, CRM masteries, data analytics. Encourage them to gain more information. Mentorship framework. Revenue operations and seniors thrive on knowledge sharing. Encourage mentorship session, peer-to-peer meetups. Connect your seniors to mentors or to experts in their fields that you know and make them learn from them. And I think the last and the most important thing, have a clear career pathway. Map out the junior to senior pathway, because when you give the option for your team to grow, they will pick to be in your company. They will pick to invest in you because you show them the way that you invest in them. So we got the team, we got the manager, we got the talent. We know how to keep them. How do we scale them? How do we make them better? We saw that, right? So it's not that slide. RevOps singularity. The goal, the dream. This is what you achieve for. But what is it? It's that point where sales, marketing, customer success all work together. No silos, no friction, just pure alignment. But it's not just a switch of a button. It's an ongoing journey. And in order to get there, you need to go through 3 key stages. The first, not surprisingly, data and system alignment. I will surprise you with a term that no one ever heard. One source of truth. Yeah, you start with that. You connect your data. You connect your CRM automation. You make sure everybody is working on the same data and see the same insights. Workflow optimization. Make sure everything is optimized. Take those processes, those routines, those lead scoring, make them as automated as you can to free up time for the good stuff, for the planning, for the strategy, for that unique metrics that you're trying to understand what it is. The most important thing is the last part. Continuous improvement. Test, refine, adapt, again and again and again and again. Check your information. Double down on all the information, on all the data that you need, and make sure you refine and adapt according to everything. So, at the end, you need to make sure that in order to get to your team being a true powerhouse, you invest in those things. And you start with that. But let me reassure you, RevOps Singularity, it's not just the goal. It's an ongoing journey. Every platform, every system being aligned helps more. And every decision that you as a manager take can define the way that how your success will eventually be. As famously Vincent van Gogh said, all great things are a series of small things done together. And not so different from revenue operation, that gray area part that we all live in between departments. As long as you know that those small things at the end will bring you to the greater picture, will help you transcend and show everything in the right manner, that's the way to go. So my time is up. I had a wonderful time, and I hope that you do too, and that there were not a lot of slack interruption. And I'm here if anybody has a question.